Good morning and welcome here into the Headingley Taverners Club on this Boxing Day morning. My name's Barrie Hetherington, I'm the Chief Executive of Leeds Rhinos, and like you, I would be just about be now getting ready for the kick-off to the Wetherby Whaler Challenge, the Leeds Rhinos versus Wakefield Trinity. And of course, as we know, rugby league games here at Headingley on Boxing Day have got a long tradition. But of course this year has been a year like no other. And so instead of all our marvellous facilities being full and the stands and terraces being full, we're empty. There's nobody here apart from ourselves. And that's such a pity because we're so proud of our new facilities. But of course, we're also equally proud of our rich history and heritage and traditions. And so to try and fill the void of not having a game to watch this Boxing Day morning, we've created something we believe is quite special. A film that does actually capture much of the history, the heritage and the traditions of our club. And alongside me today, I'm delighted to welcome two very significant Rhinos. Phil Caplan, who's the managing editor of the 4020 Rugby League magazine and is also chairman of the Leeds Rhinos Foundation Heritage Group. This is a group of people who know everything there is to know about Leeds Rugby League, about rugby league in general, about Headingley. And Phil and his team do a great job. We've also got Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Now, as you know, Jamie is a man of many talents. Did a bit of playing and retired recently, having had a very distinguished career. I'm sure you all know that Jamie is now on the Rhinos coaching staff, but what you probably didn't know is that he also is a company called RAM, and this is a film production company, and they've been given the job to actually produce what you'll see today and indeed the next 4 days. And if you think it's good, then write to me and compliment me on the behalf of the club. If it's not that good, if you think it's rubbish, Jamie's the man to blame.
No pressure.
And so here we are this Boxing Day morning, and as the year nears its end, and Phil, from a traditions and a historical and heritage point of view, 2020 was always going to be a significant year for the club.
You're right, yeah, we actually had some fantastic events planned that were taken away from us for all the reasons you've outlined, but yeah, 150 years ago was the formation of the St John's team, who were the antecedents of the Rhinos that play today. And obviously we would have liked to have commemorated that. 130 years ago, these very facilities were open for the first time, and I don't think we can overestimate how important that was, not just for the club, but for the city of Leeds. They were absolutely state-of-the-art in the nation, and to have so many sports played at the same venue was a real benefit and boost for the city of Leeds. 5 years after that, in 1895, was obviously the formation of the Northern Union, Rugby League as we know it, and that's been celebrated a little bit by the game, but clearly Leeds were one of the founder 22 clubs and a real landmark in distinguishing rugby union as it was and the hierarchy of Twickenham to the game it became up here based around the north of England. And then the final anniversary that we would have loved to have celebrated more, but we will recognise, is the first trophy that the club won. That was in 1910, 90 years ago, the Challenge Cup, first time it had ever gone to a replay. Leeds defeated Hull. Big crowds to welcome the team back from Fartown with that elusive silverware, and yeah, it's a momentous year, and we didn't want it to let it go by without at least mentioning that.
And of course, not only celebrating major anniversaries, but we've got the Leeds Rugby League Hall of Fame and 4 new inductees into that, and also the heritage certificates. Every player that's ever played for the club is awarded his heritage certificate. And I know that Jamie Jones was awarded his at the presentation a little bit earlier today.
Well, it gives me great pleasure to present number 1309 Heritage Certificate on behalf of the Players Association, the Leeds Rhinos Players Association, to Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Back on the 7th of May 1999, I was involved in that game. We were a little bit short that week, and they were short a total of 421 times, Jonesy, over 20 years. So we can't shake hands, just I am very proud and privileged to present you this, my friend.
I'm very honoured to receive it, Baz. I remember being in that south stand wearing that badge, the Loiners Leeds Rugby League badge, singing Harvey's Gonna Get You. And by the time my boyhood dream come true and I graced this pitch myself, one of 421 times, as Baz mentioned, I was wearing that badge and everybody was singing Barrie's Gonna Get You. Thankfully, Baz, I never had to play it against you, but listen, this is a massive honour. It's pride of place this Christmas. I'd like to thank yourself as well and both Gary for the mentorship, the tutelage, the friendship and the family that you've given me, not just over them 22 years, but I'm sure, God willing, well beyond into the future. So thank you very much to the fans as well. I'm one of them. I used to be one, I'm back being one. I've done a little bit of everything, but to everybody at the Heritage Committee, thank you very much. It's a massive honour. Gary, an absolute honour and a pleasure. I think it could be one of my favourite Christmas presents this year. It takes me back to when I was just a young kid in that south stand behind us there, dreaming of just playing one game for Leeds Rhinos. And do you know what? I was super privileged to go on and play 421 games and formed the greatest time of my life. And I still find myself privileged now being a steward of the history of the game, listening to people like Phil, who was a fantastic orator, teaching and educating me on a daily and weekly basis. And not just that, I see the next generation of players, Gary, who are going to grace this pitch for years to come and represent the great city of Leeds, in which I was fortunate to grow up. So not only do I see the future, I'm constantly introduced to the past, to the previous stewards of the game, of Leeds Rhino shirts who have got heritage numbers before mine, and I'm able to record it, document it and create stories based on their experiences playing for this great club. And I believe we've got somebody very special as well. I don't know how you found the family of this gentleman, but I'm 1309, but today we've got another very special presentation as well.
Absolutely, Jamie. Yes, and actually the origins of this was about 12 months ago when my daughter Lucy, who works in our commercial department, she contacted me. She says one of her customers, Dave Armstrong, reckons that one of his great uncles or grandfather used to play for Leeds, but not quite sure when. So I gave the name to Phil, and I was quite staggered with the information that came back to me. Because Phil come back to me and says, well, yes, not only did Bob Armstrong play for Leeds in the 1890s, but he actually played in the first ever game in the Northern Union, 1895. And even more significant, not only did he play in that first ever game, he played fullback. So that actually qualifies him for Heritage Certificate number 0001. And here is this very, very unique certificate that was presented to Dave and family members a little bit earlier by members of the Leeds Rhinos Players Association Committee. Very, very significant moment. And you're right, Jamie, this is quite significant in the club's history and heritage, that everybody that's ever played for Leeds Rhinos first team gets awarded with this special heritage number and this certificate.
On behalf of the Leeds Rhinos Players Association, it gives me great pleasure today to present the Heritage number 1, the first player listed on the Heritage numbers, of Bob Armstrong, who made his debut on the 7th of September 1895 against Lee. And I'm presenting it this morning to John Armstrong, who's his great nephew, and David Armstrong, who's his great nephew.
Thank you very much. It's a great honour to receive this. There is a bit of a history to it, in that a long time ago, in my father's lifetime, we discovered a cap which was presented to Bob, and nobody really knew what it was all about, and it kept in the family for quite some time. And then my son got involved with it and spoke to Phil, and we turned up that it was one of the original caps presented to Bob. And so we went through the various people at Leeds, and we've ended up with this certificate, which is greatly appreciated by all the family. It's just a shame probably some of the older ones aren't here to see it, but you know, to remember what was being kept through the family, but it is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. We found in the records of the family, if you like, some photographs of him, and also a cap, which obviously said he played for Leeds, but we weren't quite certain which Leeds club it was. Anyway, it was kept in the family for quite some time, and I would say to a certain extent almost forgotten about. And over the years I kept coming to Headingley. We've been through the Francis eras, Sid Hines and his group, and obviously now with all the success they've had in the recent championships and sort of teams at Old Trafford, and that's been quite a momentous occasion.
I think I started back in about 79-80, and I remember the overriding memory I have is year in, year out, the away fans coming along and singing "What a waste of money" to all this Leeds team that was stood behind the sticks, having conceded another try, and that, I don't know, it was that jubilation on that first victory, that cup I saw them win, which I think was a Yorkshire Cup final at Ellen Road, when we had the likes of Cliff Lyons and E.T. and Sam Bacco. It was I was on crutches at the time, wasn't
I? Yeah.
And I think I lost the crutch when the final whistle went. But, and then from there, it's sort of steamrolled, hasn't it? We've had a unparalleled success. I think there was a quote on the grand final the other night that what Burrow said about creating, well, billionaires, these memories we've created, and it's true not only to this great bunch of players but to the fans alike as well. It's some of our best memories are to do with rugby league.
As I say, it's the family have been involved in Leeds Rugby League for a long, long time, and to have number one presented to us means a heck of a lot. It's David, as he's grown up with Leeds, he's taken a very keen interest, and he's had the cap and the photographs framed and everything, and to put this alongside it just puts the finishing touches to it.
Makes it that extra bit special, that being number one. It makes you sort of feel a little bit, well, not a gloat, but
yeah.
Obviously it's an honour to get one, no matter what the number. But yeah, number one's a bit special, isn't it?
Special moment.
And the great thing about Bob is he bridges two historic moments in the club. That he actually made his debut in 1892, and we've come up with a series of foundation numbers for players that played between 1890, when the club was formed, and 1895, where it became a Northern Union club, and then he was on the field for the first game in Northern Union to get heritage number one. So this is a unique find for the club.
Yeah, what a great history and heritage. And with regard to the Leeds Rugby League Hall of Fame, well, this is a Rhinos Players Association event, and every year we host either a lunch or a dinner where the current inductees are invited, along with 4 new inductees. It started in 2017, and we're delighted that it's with its sponsor, Andrew Thurtle of the H Partnership Company, and the terrific key partners that all support the Hall of Fame. We've got Jeffrey Walton of Barrie's Jewellers, Steve Johnson from Dynamic, Graham Ford from Cabins, John Spencer of NIC, Tony Douglas of Quest, and Peter O'Hara of the O'Hara and Company, and Steve MacDonald of SM UK, and of course the Leeds Rhinos Foundation. So thank you to all of you for such terrific support.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed that, and it's whet your appetite enough to join us over the next 4 days, where we'll be inducting number 13 to 16 into the Leeds Rugby League Hall of Fame. Hope to see you tomorrow.